Okay. So now if you notice it here, as I told you, so the amount of water is not constant everywhere. So that is what we are assuming as what? X. X indicate what? Variation in water. Understanding? Variation in water molecule. That is what you have to remember. Why? A place to place, the amount of moisture is not constant. So that is why we are taking as a X moles of water. And if we'll react with this, then we are going to get, the formula is 2Fe2O3 dot XH2. So why I am writing here X? Can anybody tell me? So this is like a powder and the reddish brown substance which is powdery in nature. So why I am writing here XH2? So what is the meaning of dot XH2? Anybody?
Of moisture, really.
Not removal of moisture. So dot H2O, X indicates here. X indicates number of water molecules will varies. Do you understand, Maitrayan? Number of water molecules varies. So why it will varies? So from one place to another place, it is not constant. So that is why I am representing as a XH2. So before I taught you one formula, have you remembered? CuSO4, copper sulfate, 5H2O. This is what we used to call it as. Same way, iron sulfate, FeSO4, we have been written decomposition reaction of iron sulfate. Do you remember, guys? Iron sulfate decomposition. But what we are going to get? Actually, it is the hydrated salt. We are going to get what? FeSO4, 7H2O. So first it will heat. Water will go out. Then only the reaction FeSO4 will carried out. Then we are going to get Fe2O3 plus sulfur dioxide plus sulfur trioxide. Do you remember this reaction? I taught you decomposition reaction. Yes or no? Please respond. So here I am writing what? 7H2O, 5H2O and all, because I know that this is fixed amount of water molecules. Understanding? Fixed amount of, this is only we used to call it as water of crystallization. What we used to call? Water of crystallization, which we will study in the next chapter. Okay. So if you'll notice it here it is also, that is why these kind of salts which contains water molecules, we used to call it as hydrated salts. What we used to call? Hydrated salts. Understand? If no water is present, unhydrated salts we used to call it as. Now same way, if you notice it here, rusting of iron also, the number of water molecules is varies from place to place. So that is why instead of mentioning the number, so what we'll take, guys? Instead of mentioning the number, we'll take what? X we will take. So X indicate it may be a 1 water molecule, or maybe a 2, or maybe a 3, or maybe a 4. So we cannot predict it. So that is the reason I am taking as a X. So based upon the place to place, it will be keep on varies. So that is the reason I am taking as a what? I am just taking as a X. So this is why we used to call it as this. What is the color of this iron oxide? Anybody? What is the color of this iron oxide?
Reddish
brown. Do you understand? So it will form a brown color substance. So that brown color substance only we used to call it as this iron oxide XH2O. So this is the name. What is the name of this one? We used to call it as hydrated iron oxide. What we used to call? Hydrated iron oxide. So iron oxide, this hydrated iron oxide only we used to call it as, what is the name of that one? Rust we used to call it.
rusting of iron.
That is what. So this is the reaction of rusting of iron or corrosion of iron. So remember, X is equals to what? X indicate what, guys? It may be a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or 4 and keep on so on. So that is water molecules. So water of crystallization is not constant from place to place. So that is why we will represent with the dot XH2O. Okay. Durga, can you hear me now? Everybody, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
That is what. So kindly write it. This is what we used to call it as rusting of iron. Okay, guys. Any doubt? So nothing. So when the iron is exposed to the atmosphere, it will react with the 2 atmospheric gases. What is that, guys? One is oxygen Another one is what?
Oxygen and hydrogen.
Another one is water vapor, not hydrogen, water vapor. That is what we used to call it as, understand, both together we used to call it as moist air, and it will form iron oxide, that is also hydrated iron oxide. So now I am taking here XH2O because place to place the amount of moisture is keep on varies. It is not constant across the earth. So that is why we are representing XH2O. So it is indicating it will varies what? It is varies from place to place. So that is what you have to remember. So now if they will ask you in exam, what is the chemical formula of rust? So what is the chemical formula of rust? You have to write it Fe2O3 dot XH2O, you have to write it. Is it okay, Maitriyan, Maunesh, everybody? So this is the chemical formula of rust. So X indicate it may be a one water molecule or two water molecules or three or four or so on. So we don't know. So that is why we are writing as a X. So this is what rusting of iron we used to call it as. So as we know, the second famous metal is, have you heard about the copper metal? Please respond, everybody. Do you know about the copper? Yes. Now, particularly if it comes to Tamil Nadu only, if you go to the tea shop, you might be notice it for preparation of tea or coffee and all, they used to keep some kind of a bowl which is very, very hot. Like always to get hot water, they will use some kind of a bowl which is made up of copper. Have you noticed it? Tea shops and all, you might be noticing. Yes, please respond. Yes. Now, if you visited the new tea shop, you might be see this copper is a copper bowl or utensil is very, very shiny in nature. Or else you might be having in your home also. If you will buy the new copper vessel, it will be very, very shining in nature. But when the time keep on goes, like after 6 months, after 1 year, or else if you will visit a regular tea shop of yours, like very old one, you might be noticing this copper bowl is lightly turns into greenish color layer. Have you noticed it? Its upper part is turns into light greenish color. Have you noticed it or not? Please respond. Yes. So you might be next time you notice it. If you visit the old tea shop anywhere where they are using the same copper vessel from so many years, then you can see on the surface of the copper vessel, you can see a light green color coating. What is that, guys? Green color coating. So that green color coating is indicating what, guys? This green color coating is only indicating what? It is
Corrosion.
okay. So now, sir, how it will take place? So compared to iron, this corrosion process is very, very tough. Like tough in the sense of it will take very long process. That is what. Now, before going to study this copper corrosion reaction, first of all, you tell me how smart. You just think and tell me what is the required conditions for corrosion of iron. Let me see who will say. What is the required?
Oxygen, water vapor.
Yeah, water vapor, oxygen, and as well as what? Iron metal. You understand? So if suppose water is not present in the atmosphere, is it possible to carry out the corrosion of iron or rusting of iron?
No,
Yes.
sir. No, sir.
If there is no oxygen is present, then is it possible?
No, sir.
No. So out of these three, either iron or oxygen or water, any one thing is missing. That is what moisture. Then it is not possible to carry out the chemical reaction called as rusting of iron. So that is why we can say rusting of iron. The required conditions for rusting of iron is three. One is what? Iron metal or iron article. Second one is oxygen, and third one is water vapor or moisture, we can say. So without these three or any one out of these three, the corrosion won't be carried out. That is what? Rusting of iron won't be carried out. So that is the first corrosion reaction. Now coming to the second corrosion reaction, as I told you, copper metal. What is the second metal, guys? Copper. Okay. So now copper, if you'll expose to the atmosphere, as I said in tea shops and all, if you'll notice it. So after using of long period of time, a green color coating you can observe on the surface of the copper vessels. So now these copper, when the time keep on goes, it will react with the atmospheric gases like carbon dioxide, water, and as well as oxygen. So this three substances it is. So this three together, what we used to call, guys? Three together, what we used to call? Moist air. What we used to call? Moist air we used to call. Then it will form a compound called as basic copper carbonate. Okay. So we are going to get, after reaction, we are going to get a product called as copper carbonate, CuCO3 dot CuOH twice, copper hydroxide, which is in solid state. So single formula, CuCO3 dot CuOH twice. So this is only we used to call it as basic copper carbonate. What is to call? Basic copper carbonate we used to call it as. So we used to get a product CuCO3 dot CuOH twice, copper carbonate, copper hydroxide. So what is the color of this one, guys? As I told you already, what is the color of this one? Green color. So this is only we used to call it as copper, the corrosion of copper. Very, very important reaction. So what is the required conditions for copper? Copper corrosion of copper, carbon dioxide, oxygen, and water. So out of this four, any one thing is missing, then also it is called as, what we used to call? Corrosion won't be carried out. So this is the corrosion of copper. Kindly remember. Any doubt? So corrosion of copper, it will take very long process and it will produce a basic copper carbonate. That is what basically which is in green color in nature. So kindly make it. Tamil Selvan, have understand? Sai, Shahrukh, that is what? Rohit, that is the second corrosion reaction which we have studied in our class 10. Next, third one. So if you notice the third type of reaction, let it be, I will wind up by corrosion. Later preventive methods also will study in the next class. Now, silver. Have you know the silver, guys? Please respond. How many of you know silver?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, silver. What is the symbol of silver? Silver. Yes or no? This is what we know. So, the silver ornaments. Have you heard? Maybe you can see your mother or your sister or some of your in your home. They used to wear the silver ornaments like rings, or else for legs and all. Basically girls, small girls and all will wear, will keep. Even we are, when we are a boy, small boys, like a small, like different ornaments we people will wear, which is made up of silver. Yes or no? Yes.
Sir.
So now, why we are wearing the silver and gold usually? They are very, very lustrous in nature, or they are very, very shining in nature. Is it yes or no? Yes, please. Now, if you notice it, if you are continuously wearing the silver for a long period of time, you might be see this, they will lose their luster. They will lose their luster and slowly they will turn into they will form a black color substance. That black color substance only we used to call it as silver. Understand? Silver sulfide. What we used to call?
Silver sulfide.
Sulfide. So why I'm saying this example, I told you it will react with the sulfur also, which is present in atmospheric gases. That is the reason. So if you take these silver ornaments, slowly they will lose their luster or shining surface and they will turn into black color substance. Like black color substance is forming. That black color substance only we used to call it as silver sulfide. So now if you'll notice it here, why it is forming silver sulfide means black color substance, because the presence of compounds of sulfur. It is not only sulfur. So as we know, a foul smell gas is present in the atmosphere, which is called as, can anybody say what is that? Like a rotten eggs. What is that? Hydrogen
sulfide.
So hydrogen sulfide. So what is going to happen? The silver is going to react with the hydrogen compounds of sulfur, and which will going to be happen. So what is going to happen? Silver sulfide, which is in solid state, plus it will form hydrogen gas. So this is what we is going to study. So this is hydrogen sulfide. From where it will come, guys? Hydrogen sulfide, from where it will come? It will come from air only. Understand? So air, it is called as compounds of sulfur. What is to call? Compounds of sulfur. Clear, everybody? So it will form a black color substance. This is what we used to call as silver sulfide. So this is the, also we can say it is the corrosion reaction. Clear? Okay, guys? So it's become black because of our body temperature. It's not become because of our body temperature, Mukesh. So basically the gases, it will react with the atmosphere. Slowly it will turns into blackish color. So that is why you can see they will give for gold shops and all. They will go and they will wash with some kind of acids. So that again they will get back their luster. Have you noticed it? Again they will start shining. Why? So they will wash with some kind of chemicals so that this black color substance, silver sulfide, will be removed from the surface so that it will be useful. Like again, it will get back the lustrous in nature. That is what is going to be happen. Is it okay, guys? Yes, please.
sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
last metal which I want to say you. So these three are disadvantage or advantage, disadvantage or advantages. So this is all we used to call as disadvantage for us. Do you understand, everybody? So disadvantages only for us, this all the things. Now, one metal will corrode. It is advantage for us. So what is that metal? Let us discuss. Even if we'll take that metals only we used to call it as aluminum, zinc, etc. What is that metals, guys? Aluminum and zinc. So now, sir, why, sir? Corrosion of aluminum and zinc. Why, sir, it is advantage? Now I will discuss. Observe very carefully, everybody. So now let me imagine this is what aluminum or zinc metal. What is this metal, guys? Aluminum or zinc metal. Do you understand? Now, observe very carefully when it is exposed to the atmosphere so that it will react with the oxygen and as well as water moisture. Do you understand it? And so upper layer, which layer it will hit? Upper layer only it will hit. Yes or no, Pradosh? Onish, everybody? So upper layer of aluminum or zinc metal will hit. So now immediately it will start forming into upper layer alone. Do you understand it? Upper layer alone, because it is only getting oxygen and water from the atmosphere, so that it will form aluminum oxide. What is this, guys? A layer of aluminum oxide it will form. So aluminum metal react with oxygen alone, even water vapor also no need. It will form a layer of aluminum oxide. Okay, so this will called as what? What is this process we used to call it as corrosion only. We used to call it as corrosion, but this layer will become inert in nature. Means inert means what? Further, it won't allow the oxygen to go inside. Do you understand, everybody? So iron, if you take iron, what is happening? Suppose if you take, this is the pipe of iron, a piece of iron. First, upper layer will turns into corrosion. Later, the oxygen will supply to lower levels. So that complete metal will damage. But in case of aluminum or zinc, what is happening? Upper layer alone, it will react with oxygen and will form a inert layer, or we can say also protect layer. Understanding? So it will protect the aluminum metal from the further corrosion. So further corrosion won't be takes place. Yes, Mukesh, exactly like magnesium. So further corrosion won't be takes place. So that is why what is happening? The aluminum article can be further, it is protected, so that when you want to use the aluminum, so during using aluminum, just you can rub with the sandpaper so that the top layer of corrosion will be removed. Do you understand, everybody? So that is what you have to remember. Even zinc also same thing. So zinc oxide it will form ZnO. So the upper layer alone it will react with oxygen and it will become inert layer. Inert layer means what? We can say unreactive layer. Understanding? Or we can say inert means he is inert man, means he will never respond for anything. He will never support for anyone. Like you can see Ukraine and Russia war, we are in inert position. We are not supporting Russia. We are not supporting Ukraine. So like that, once at the starting stage, corrosion will carried out. Aluminum will react with what? Oxygen. So once it will form aluminum oxide at the top layer, then this aluminum layer turns into what? protective layer. Do you understand, everybody? So protective layer, so that further inside no transfer of oxygen, so that no corrosion will be carried out further inside the aluminum metal. So aluminum metal will be protected inside. So that is what you have to remember. Even zinc also the same thing will happen. So that is why it is advantage or disadvantage for us. It is the advantage only. Sir, why is our advantage? At least upper layer is damaging, correct, sir? So instead of completely damaging, only top layer will be damaged. It is okay, correct? Yes or no? So that is why
Yes, sir.
aluminum and zinc metals we are using in protection of iron and other corrosion metals, other highly corrosion metals. That is what prevention of rusting or prevention of corrosion we will study in the next class. So prevention of corrosion, why we are using aluminum and zinc, you might be understand. So prevention of corrosion of other metals, we are using aluminum and zinc because aluminum will give protective layer on the other metals, so that the further corrosion won't be takes place. So this prevention of corrosion, and as well as the last one more concept called as rancidity, which is related to our food items, which will wind up in the next class. So anyhow, it's already delayed. Sorry for the inconveniences today. So now with this, I will leave you. Thank you. Afternoon we'll meet. Thank you all of you.